Hello and welcome back to my channel. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And today we're going to talk about our other friend, Jonathan Joly. He has recently hit the headlines in Sky News, and we're going to take you through that article along with some very, very disturbing things which he's been up to recently. And if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's jump straight in and let's take a look at the article first and then see what else we've got for you. I don't want facial hair. Transgender girl 8 has sleepless nights about growing up as a boy. Research shows teachers want more government guidance on gender identity, as 80% of secondary schools have students who are transgender or non-binary. This article from Sky News by Charlotte Lomas. Charlotte Lomas, we are about to debunk you. Everybody's favourite YouTuber, John Boy.
If you talk to any adult trans people, they will tell you that since the day they were born. You ask anyone who's gay will say, I've always been gay. Oh, that's nice. People always say that she looks like me, and then she gets annoyed.
With Edie, was that something you chose?
Mummy said it because she didn't want me to change my name so much.
I am partly male and partly female, but also I'm neither male nor female.
People will say like, oh, you're forcing it on her, or she's too young.
Just to stop you there, in that intro, I know since you're about gender equality and everything, and this is not bashing gender identity or anything like that, but in the intro you've got Edie with a crop top on, showing his tummy, or her tummy, sorry, I get confused. But if you are treating him as a girl, then would you allow your girl, your daughter, to wear a top like that and show her tummy off as well? It has to be an equal, not, when you choose it to be equal.
To know what's going on, I'm like, but that's your lack of, the kind of exposure to that environment. You don't have a trans child. You are not a trans person. So you're just kind of like bandwagoning on what people are saying. If we sent you somewhere to convince you are a boy, or told you had to change back to a boy, how would that make you feel?
You would never do that.
I know, I would never do that. But how would you feel if there is some people that actually do want to do that to people?
It makes us sad.
How would that make you feel?
It makes I would be sad, but I would also keep trying to convince you that I wasn't a boy.
When she was telling me how she used to have sleepless nights because she saw a video about puberty and thought like, am I going to grow facial hair? Am I going to, I'm going to have babies, right, when I grow up? Like, I'm going to be a mommy, right? I don't know how to answer that question because it's really sad. And to see a child just be questioning it all and be like, I'm in the wrong body. Can I change, please? This child, I was given this child by a doctor who had a penis, and it was like, this is a boy. I'm like, hey, I've got a boy. And then suddenly, 7 years later, it's now a girl called Edie, and it's like, as the parent, it's like, I gotta get it right, you know what I mean? But the good thing about Edie is that she's really understandable. Like, she's really understanding because I think she realizes how much freedom she has.
I'm a girl.
When you say that,
I can't believe Sky actually showed that absolutely atrocious gender reveal, fake gender reveal, do-over video. Sky really jumping on the bandwagon, John?
that she needs to just stop that messing now, you know what I mean, cut your hair, go back to being a boy, pack on the uniform and just keep it on the inside. You know what I mean? Marry a woman and just live your whole life, you know what I mean, as a lie, because it's going to make other people happy. It's like, is that the...
Stop. I know this is a Sky broadcast, but they've been given the footage by John to use. So stop putting your children out in their school uniforms. It doesn't matter if you are blurring their badge. Their school uniform is identifiable by more than just their badge. I've already done a video on this. Obviously you didn't take note. Please take note.
message you really want to send that to people? You may kind of...
Is that when you're good?
I love you, baby.
Since 2014, the Sakani Joly family have been documenting their daily life online to almost 2 million followers. Jonathan and his wife Anna were just a young couple with a dog when they first started recording videos for YouTube, but they quickly generated interest when they filmed the birth of their first child, Amelia. I bet they did. Doesn't that tell you something at all? For years, they continued to make content for YouTube and made lots of money in return. There's the key, lots of money in return for making videos of their kids. But after reaching his 40s, Jonathan said he knew he had to change. He wanted to move away from fluff and concentrate on promoting positive messages about mental health and gender identity. But using your child to do so is not the right way to do it. Anybody can tell you that. Did you consult a child psychologist to determine whether using your son would be the best way forward to promote gender identity? Did you even look into the psychology and the mental health aspect of it? Because you're talking about promoting positive messages about mental health, but simultaneously using your son's mental health through his gender identity. The perfect mix of a girl and a boy. Jonathan describes a childhood of trauma after he had to suppress who he really was. I grew up thinking that all the thoughts in my head were wrong. I know that left me with a lifetime of trauma, he said. Yeah, did you mention Giselle and Domdi and all the fantastical characters that came out of your head from when you were 3 years old? Jonathan recently revealed to his followers that he is non-binary. He also announced his second child, born a boy, is now a transgender girl called Edie. Through various films, they're not films. I can't even, no, they're not films. I don't even call mine films. Through various films posted on their Sakani Joly channel, we see Edie, who has just turned 8, say goodbye to her former name Eduardo and watch her delight at being able to wear girls' clothes. But you're not watching her delight, you're watching a fake persona of her delight. I'm not saying that her wanting to wear girls' clothes is fake, but what you see on the videos, that is fake. It's done up. It's put on. It's her father's way of expressing what he wants to express for his own ends. She's beautiful, she's amazing, because she is a perfect mix of a girl and a boy, said Jonathan. She is probably the most understanding of all our children because she overcame something she oppressed as a child. But she's still a child. She didn't oppress it as a child because she is still a child. She's only just turned 8. and then was told, hey, you can blossom, it's okay. Jonathan added, I think the emotional intelligence of a child is something that people think, oh no, she can't have those feelings and have those emotions. But if you talk to any adult trans people, they will tell you that they were trans from the day they were born. I think you're misunderstanding. I'm not best placed to have this discussion, but from how I understand it, yes, a lot of trans people probably did know from the day they were born, or from early in their lives, from an early age. But it's also true that some people who think they are trans turn out not to be. I'm just saying that you need to give your child a chance to work it out for himself without putting him in front of the camera, in front of thousands of people, with that added pressure when he's trying to figure it out for himself. Jonathan and his family have experienced a lot of hate from critics online about his and Edie's gender identity. People will say you're forcing it on her, or she is too young to know what is going on, he said. But I'm like, that is your lack of exposure to that environment. You don't have a trans child. You are not a trans person. You're dismissing people's opinions because they are not trans. You're allowed to have an opinion on a subject. Okay, it might not be the right opinion, obviously, but you can have an informed opinion about something without being that thing. You can't dismiss people's opinions like that. I would say that some people do think that you're maybe forcing it on him a little bit, but even if you're not, the main issue here is the fact that you are using it for your own gain. Why are you sticking him in front of the camera with thousands of people, as I said before, watching him, waiting to see what he does, showing off that he's changing his gender, having a gender reveal do-over, a saying goodbye to his old name, a new name reveal, all these things. Don't you see what's happening? It's money, 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 money. And also to sell your book. Are you mentioning that to this Sky News correspondent? Jonathan spoke of how Edie had told him of sleepless nights after seeing a video about puberty. She told him, I don't want to grow facial hair, and asked him, I'm going to have babies when I grow up, right? I'm going to be a mummy? As a parent, I don't know how to answer that question, because it's really sad to see a child just questioning it all, Jonathan said. And then you get cisgendered people who have no experience to say that's wrong. The family has an exit strategy if Edie would like to change her mind in the future. An exit strategy, it's not a fucking business. Meanwhile, Jonathan hopes he can use his online platform to inform others about gender identity. This is the problem. You're using your online platform to help. It's not helping. It's the cause of the problem. It's the root of the problem. It's not helping at all. Schools lacking guidance on gender identity lessons. New research shows almost 80% of secondary schools have students that identify as trans or non-binary. A YouGov poll commissioned by organisation Sex Matters also found 2/3 of teachers would be interested in lesson plans from the government on gender identity. I think this is a sore point. There's a lot of people that suggest that this shouldn't be brought into schools. It's not a school matter. Forcing the teachers, although they say they're interested in it, you're making the teachers take on more when they should be concentrating on education. The Department for Education said, We recognise that gender identity can be a complex and sensitive topic for schools to navigate. We will be working with the Equalities and Human Rights Commission as we consider our next steps for supporting schools in this area. Transgender rights, hidden communities in China. What the fuck? Is that it, is it? No? The calls for more support in schools come after the government announced that a ban on so-called conversion therapy won't include trans people. What the hell? Conversion therapy. Government announced a ban on so-called conversion therapy won't include trans people. So you can do conversion therapy. That's a bit controversial, isn't it? Okay, that's a different topic, but that's controversial in my opinion. Jonathan said he was shocked at how much he feels society has gone backwards. I would have assumed we would be more accepting today, he said. I think we are more accepting. If you'd come out as a non-binary, non-cisgendered person like 30 years ago, you would have had a lot of problems. To make a group of people in society feel excluded, it allows someone to weaponize what the government is saying and use it in a negative way to put in more controls and hold down people, which is so unfair. Edie was so excited to make that video, but she said the comments didn't pass the vibe check. My question would be, why is she reading the comments? Why are you showing her the comments on things that you're putting out of her? Don't you think that might be the problem? Not the people making comments, but the problem is that you're putting her in that position. She put so much time into learning the song and using all her musical theatre skills, and has been begging me for ages to record it because it's a trend. It's like that time she wanted to do the I Want to End Me by Billie Eilish trend, and people were kicking off. I sang Sex on the Beach as a child, but yet I never had sex on the beach as a child. I did as an adult, but I'm pretty sure the song didn't tell me to. Okay, so let's go and see what those comments to which he's referring to are all about. There was a 60 comment thread about her gender identity. People saying it's a he, it's a him, it's a she, it's a her, and just arguing over. Of course, if Edie was to read it, it would upset her. It would upset most people, right? It would definitely upset an 8-year-old child. So why do you let her read them? That is, I cannot get my head around it. And then we have comments such as this, which is I find very odd, very weird, and wrong, basically. Can we see Edie's hair in piggies or bunnies? She looks so cute, but you don't have to, it's her hair. And somebody's replied, quite rightly, that is such a weird thing to ask of a child on the internet. John, just people commenting stuff like that about your child and asking them to do their hair in a certain way because it'll look nice. Don't you see why that's a problem? And then he goes on to say, and even if we choose to educate our children about the real world, imagine growing up in a bubble and then one day it pops and you don't know how to handle it. We let them see what it's like, but from a safe space, and we answer their questions, like when they read a nasty comment about their happy lives. That's bonkers. I've been making content for longer than she has been alive, And it's always the same pattern. We did a good thing yesterday, so today all the hate comes out to try to hide the fact that it's about that. I don't have a problem if that's how she really feels. She does. But it's the way you're forcing her. I'm not. Well, that's a matter of opinion. I'm not getting into that. But the main issue isn't whether you're forcing her or whether she is this, that, or the other. The problem is that you're exploiting it for your own gain. You get some people on TikTok trying to troll you over whether or not she's a girl or a boy or whatever, you know. But those comments, they should have been deleted. 60 comment thread, and if that was on my channel, it would be gone. I know there's such a thing as free speech, but when you're putting your child's life on the line to make a point, that's just stupid. The shit people say about me daily just because I'm willing to stand up for my trans child would make most people run and hide. I'm so open about my mental health, yet that is just more ammo to hurt me. I don't think he gets it. He doesn't get it. Now, let's go back to this picture that he put up of Edie, who's clearly in distress. She was excited about recording this song, and it got so much hate, right? But what he hasn't mentioned is what the song is. Let's take a look at that then.
You come inside, but we're really not supposed to.
Why?
Pedophiles. It's so cold, and you're not mean, and no one gets molested by a gothy teen.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked. There's no words to aptly describe how disgusting you are. Using that particular song for your 8-year-old trans child, using that as a subject for entertainment, is that what it is supposed to be, for entertainment? That subject should never be used in that context or any context. And I can't believe you. I'm lost. I think you're lost, John. I think you need to get yourself off the internet, because it's not a place for you, and it's definitely not a safe space for your child. So I think you need to take some time out, get some help, and work through things. As I said, I'm lost for words. I think that'll do for today. And if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you again in another video very shortly. Thank you. Bye bye.